Welcome to this edition of the Million Dollar Mastermind podcast. This is where we pick the brains of high achievers from all walks of life and get their hard-earned, real-world insights on winning. I'm your host, Larry Weidel. We talk about process, systems, whatever. Really, the growth and of a maturity of a business and growth of a business is built into how they do it and their processes and all. And the way you do it, people feel like, well, I don't know how to do that. If you just get out there and learn the business, whatever it is, and you get successful yourself, document how you do it, like you're talking about here. Or now we can go to Chat GPT and they'll tell you the outline they can give you the outline of it anyway. And so the thing is that you develop those things by what goes right, what gives you a little bit of a bigger result, but quicker, faster, better. But also when things go wrong, you solve that problem. But if you're smart, you build tweaks into your system so you can steer around that problem. And if things go the way they're supposed to, you'll never have that come up as a problem again. And that's really how people get to be so productive like yourself, is you do so many of these things instinctively, and people would look at you like, how does he make those sales? How does he do all that? Well, you've got this track, you've got lots of tracks in lots of situations of life you've learned how to run on successfully. And those are the process. You got to have a process. The alternate to that is trial and error, or hit or miss, or make it up as you go. And that's just not a pattern for building the next Ford Motor Company.
Yeah, there's enough chaos in life, no need to add to it,
Yeah. No reason. Well, and the other thing of that is behind the thing is to make things as easy as possible for yourself to be successful. And so it's not like a budget, but a budget, you can look at the budget the same way. The budget just saves you from problems, but we all have budgets. We all have limitations on time, money, resources, things we can do. And so the system, the processes allow you to get the biggest value out of what you're doing. And so as one of the things that the way I look at it, I'm sure you do, the thing about getting second guess, I always say to myself that when it comes to, am I going to quit something, or am I going to just give up on it, or am I walk away? It's like, I'm just not going to give the SOBs the satisfaction of saying I couldn't do it, because usually most things are not that hard, not that difficult. You just can. It's kind of like my Georgia Tech education. It's just incredibly annoying, and it wasn't that it was that difficult. It was just annoying, and a bunch of annoying professors that you had to accommodate to go through the gauntlet. It wasn't like it was, you had to be Einstein. You just had to be willing to put up with X amount of abuse to get that ticket. And, but if you don't get it, it's like, oh, it's too hard for you. Wasn't it? Too hard. Mm-hmm. Everything, no matter how you can explain it away, they hear it as an excuse. And I would just prefer to go through life without giving people an excuse to have those thoughts, especially when you can do it. It's just easier to get it done rather than being always starting over. And have you discovered that?
Well, I think the one thing that I've learned over the years is, try to get the feedback directly back to you. If someone's not happy with something, or someone's uneasy about something you're doing, if you give them the opportunity to tell you, and get it off their chest, and,
right,
and give you an opportunity to fix it or correct it, generally, they become a raving fan afterward, as opposed to, someone who's going to go out there and tell other people that they were disappointed in the job that you did. So, certainly no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Once in a while, as infrequently as possible, obviously. So, But when I do make a mistake or I miss something, I go up to it. I talk to the person about it. We formulate a plan to get around it. And 99% of the time they're happy with that. They're satisfied with that. And you get a better outcome that way too. But obviously, if you've got a really good sound process, you can limit the number of times you get yourself into those situations. So we go back to the process and the methods, the tools that you use, are critical to minimizing mistakes, but, you're still going to make them because you're going to get yourself in situations where it's something that you've never had to navigate before, and you might pick the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So when that happens, to say, oh, I picked the wrong direction.
Yeah.
I see 3 ways to get back on course, option A, option B, option C. Just want to run them by you to see what your thoughts are. And, most people understand that, mistakes are made or decisions and with a lack of adequate information are made, and, they respect it, honor it, and they help out. And like I said, you can turn people into raving fans from raving lunatics.
Yeah. And one of those things about getting that is to, when we're busy, like you say, your instinct, you'll notice something. But, a lot of times it's one more question asked at the right time can open up a whole new hidden world. But if you're too busy and you just say, no, you really need to think about asking that extra, like, what question did I ask? And does that, I'm sure you can relate to that.
Well, I can, because I have a wife who's Polish, and Polish people love to ask questions, so it's in her nature. I'm more English, Irish, Scandinavian, and you don't ask questions, you just barge through the wall.
Right.
So it's been a learning process, but she's taught me well. I think I'm doing much, much better at asking a lot more questions and probing, a lot more.
Yeah, it pays off because you find out things you need to know, but you can only do that if you have that relationship with the key person. Like, all of these things seem to be tying back together. What you said right from the beginning is like have a relationship with the decision maker, talk directly, have a system in place. And you basically, all of these come down to setting yourself up for success with everything you do and everything you say. And you've got the track record and the awards to prove you got a pretty good handle on that. Any last thing you want to pass on as we wrap this thing up?
Well, I mean, you just somewhat summarized up a few things, and I'll kind of add to that. When you talk about building that relationship, it's really all about, setting expectations with that client, and clearly communicating those expectations, and then making sure that they understand those expectations, and then delivering and exceeding on them. And then if, like we talked about, if you fail, making sure you jump right on it and get it corrected. And, that's, I think, probably the key to success. I mean, you can, in communication nowadays, it doesn't always have to be, face to face. You can do Zoom meetings, you can do, phone calls, you can do, texts, you can, do all sorts of things, to communicate, to your clients, during each step of the process without, overburdening them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that, technology is, again, another help in that. And it's something that you need to know how to use and leverage to aid those communications with your clients. And once you master that, I think, you're on your way to success for sure.
Well, thanks so much, Eric. I'm really excited to see the success you've had. And the thing is, when you're, in your business, when you make a sale on of a business to another family, you create good things for the people that got that business sold, they can be unleashed to go on and do things where they're empowered now to go on and do great things, fun things in their life. But also you're empowering the new people to jump in and move up fast. And for people who want to be an entrepreneur, want to be their own boss and do great things, a lot of times buying another business is the best way to do it. Gives you a running start. And you've seen that yourself, right?
Oh, without question. I mean, you don't have that, multi-year, effort poured into scaling the business up to,
Right.
A certain, level of income that makes you comfortable. You can literally go out, and leverage an acquisition of a business that's already generating that level of income. And then, if you really have that entrepreneurial spirit, you can take that business and you can put your own spin to it, after you learn it. I would recommend, not right away, but after you learn that business, put your own spin to it, put your own time and effort and energy into growing it, or, taking it in a little bit different direction, or adding product, adding services, doing things that, you might enjoy more than that base business that you purchase.
Yeah.
Let your entrepreneurship, your entrepreneurial spirit, take that existing business and build it versus, trying to build from scratch is so hard. It is very, very hard.
But that's what even big companies do when they're going into new industries or they're wanting to expand and things like that. They're partnering up all the time. And so it is an idea that you can use possibly yourself or one you ought to consider anyway. So thanks so much. When you do, make sure you give Eric a call. He's probably got something in his pipeline for you to take a look at. And so, Eric, thanks for talking with us. And if people want to find you, where do they find you?
Yeah, I'm Eric Gall at Edison Business Advisors. My website is www.edison, Edison, like the inventor, B as in Bravo, A as in Alpha.com. And my phone number is 239-738-6227.
Thanks so much, Eric. This has been a whole lot of fun. Talk to you later.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Larry.
Thanks for listening to the Million Dollar Mastermind. If you felt there were any valuable takeaways from this episode, please take a minute and leave us a 5-star review. Your feedback is important and really helps us get the word out to a wider audience. Remember, we have a valuable webinar that is absolutely free. Register for it right now at WeidelOnWinning.com. Thanks for listening.